Thanks, everybody. Boy, what a great day for Cowboy football. Kevin, great to see you again via Zoom. Can't wait till we get there in Boise. You know, on behalf of Cowboy football, we're really pleased with this invitation. It's it's a great bowl game, and we've had a great experience. And I can tell you, enjoys a great national reputation. And Kent State is an excellent football team. Our players are really excited. We've had a rigorous year. We've had some times we played really well, and we anticipate playing really well in this bowl game. And so we're certainly excited. And Kevin, want to say thanks on behalf of Cowboy football that your bowl game, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, has selected us to represent Mountain West.
Kevin, do you want to go ahead and make a statement?
Absolutely. Coach, thanks so much for that. We're excited to have the Cowboys back in our game since the first and only time you played in the game in 2017. But I think we're even more excited. Well, not more excited, but we're also excited for the fact that our game will be played in more normal circumstances this coming year versus last year. We were lucky enough to get a game off last year during COVID. But without fans, and basically the teams flew in one day and flew out, I felt more like a travel agent than running a bowl game. Mm-hmm. But, this year we will have fans in the stands. We'll have our full corporate Tent Village tailgate area. We'll have a fan fest. The kids, will do a lot of fun things with them. When they get into town, we'll have a community service project for the Idaho Food Bank here, and they'll build meals for the food insecure in our valley. We're going to take the kids snow tubing, and we'll have a really great FCS breakfast. And Lou Holtz will be the guest speaker at that breakfast the morning before the game. So we're excited to really kind of get it back going again. We talk about reputations. I have to tell you, Wyoming football has got a great reputation. The fan base, the athletic department, the head coach, the kids. It's really true. And in the bowl business, Wyoming's one of those teams you want to have in your bowl game. So we're fired up and excited to have you all come here, and hope we have a great matchup with Kent State.
Okay, guys, if you'll raise your hand, and I'll select people to ask questions. When you ask a question, if you please also say who it's directed to, whether Coach Bowl or Kevin. Josh, go ahead.
Hey, Craig, this one's for you. Saw that the game's going to be played on ESPN on December 21st. For your team, how big of an opportunity is this to just kind of showcase that Wyoming brand?
Without question. And we're really pleased that, this bowl game selected us simply because of the marquee nature of the bowl game. Our players were excited that, we were entering postseason play. We didn't know where we were going to play. But they've had a couple great practices. I know that they're embracing this. They'll be excited about going to Boise. Many of our older players have talked about, the different bowl games they've been to, and this one is at the top of the list. And so up from their experience, and a bowl game is a reward for players. Now, certainly we're going to, sharpen our sword and come in with the mentality to win the game. But it's also an opportunity, as Kevin would say, some of these other excellent activities that they have, and the chance to be able to, give back to the community and then participate in this game. So big highlight. That's something our players have worked hard for, and we couldn't be more pleased that we were selected to represent the Mountain West here.
Cody?
Greg, no other coach in Wyoming history, 125 years, has taking a team to a bowl this many times. What does that mean to you?
Well, I think the biggest thing, Cody, is it's a privilege to serve as a head football coach for the Cowboys. I think it's also, a case in point of continuity. And one of the challenges that Wyoming has had through the years is continuity, whether coaches always want to come and go. Coaches have maybe a couple good years and then they go, or they have a couple bad years and they're fired. And so I appreciate our president and Tom Berman having faith in us. We're excited about this opportunity. Certainly to have some consistency, to be bowl eligible again is not something we take lightly. And our players are excited about playing in the game. So I think it's a dual thing. We got a good football team. And I think it's also a case in point that we have some continuity in Cowboy football where in the past we've not had that.
Ryan?
Craig, you mentioned that you're representing the Mountain West, but you're kind of an unofficial member of the MAC this year. This is your third MAC opponent. Just how does that factor in? I know you were a different team when you guys played Northern Illinois. It was a long time ago, but you have that common opponent. How does that factor in, do you think?
Well, we have a great deal of respect for the Mid-America Conference, and we've not played Kent State before. We had a great experience playing Central Michigan a couple of years ago. We certainly have, an understanding of the level of competition within the league. I know Northern Illinois played Kent State. Our players are going to, draw some comparisons to that. Obviously, we had a very, very competitive game. And so a great opponent, and a great conference. And our guys are going to look forward to playing Kent State. So I'm excited about that as well.
Josh?
Hey, Kevin, this one's for you. Laramie's only about an 8-9 hour drive from Boise, and then a lot of places in the state even closer. How much of a factor did that proximity and just the ability to get a large contingent of fans out there play into extending that invite to Wyoming?
It's important. We realize that, bowl games are built around, great matchups, but also geography, making it easier for fans to attend those games. So it's not only a reward to the kids and the players, but it's also a reward to the fan base. And so it's a big part. And, really, when you think about it, there are, out in the West, we're so spread out geographically. And, really the closest schools for us end up being Utah State, Wyoming, Nevada, and Boise State. Everybody else is, you're starting to get into a 10-hour drive to come to the game. So it was a big part, but it's really, Coach Bowl has done an outstanding job with the program. I know the second half of the year wasn't what everybody hoped it would be, but, that's college football. And we all know that happens. We love the geography, we love the brand, and it helped a lot to have those in place when we made the invitation.
Cody?
Greg, I don't know how much you've had a chance to look at Kent State yet, but Dustin Crum seems like a really good quarterback. Statistically, this will be the best offense you guys have faced. What do you know about Kent State?
Well, I'm out recruiting right now, and I'm going to be back in, once we announce our game plan. I did just a quick run through. I mean, obviously an unbelievably explosive offense. They score a lot of points, and that all starts with the quarterback and the skill players they have. And so it'll be a big, big challenge for us. I know our football team's looking forward to it, but I also know our defensive players will look forward to that as well. They're competitive guys. And, we've confronted some talented offenses in the Mountain West, and this is going to be a big, big challenge for us, but I think our guys are really going to embrace that challenge.
Ryan?
Craig, what's going to be your schedule to get back into the groove of practices and everything? And is there anything, do you know who's going to handle the D line, and anything you want to say about, Pete's time with you?
Yeah, I just like to say thanks for Coach Caligas. He was on Coach Christensen's staff. I think he's been at the University of Wyoming for 13 years. He's from the state of Washington and had recruited extensively in the state of Washington. So an opportunity for him to, be an in-state recruiter was really important. And also he'd like to be a head coach, and he's been given the title of assistant head coach. So he's back. His family's from that area. And so he did an unbelievable job for us, and want to wish he and his family well. Now, what we'll do in the interim, Ryan, Coach English will probably handle all four guys. And that's not, I don't want to say it's less than ideal. It's very manageable though, but it's not something that you want to do over the long haul. And so as opposed to trying to just go out and but hire somebody in a real quick pinch, I think we can service ourselves well. As far as our plans, we needed a couple days off. What we're going to do is integrate some practices. We had a couple practices this weekend just to keep our guys engaged in football. There was not contact, but doing football related activities. we'll go ahead and get started with heavy game planning right now. I'm going to be out for a couple days here recruiting. I can't tell you where I'm at. I'm undisclosed location. Somebody will probably find the tail number and track me down, but we'll get back in town. Our two coordinators are going to stay in town the whole time, put together, I think, a pretty comprehensive game plan. And at the tail end of the week, we'll introduce that to our players. We will balance academics. Along with that, we'll be entering finals. But during the course, I think at the tail on in the week, and then certainly this weekend, we'll be in full-blown practices getting ready for Kent State.
Josh?
Craig, obviously have some good memories from the Potato Bowl from back when y'all's first trip in 2017. What are some of the biggest takeaways from your experience that year?
Well, Kevin and I talked a little bit, and I don't know, a lot of people remember, with the number of players who have opted out for all kinds of reasons. Josh Allen was hurt, had separated his shoulder against Air Force and went through a surgery. And everybody in the world, and Kevin knows this, everybody in the world told Josh Allen not to play, not the college fans, but professional people. And Josh and I came to an agreement that he would only play if he was 100%. And I told him that, I watch him every day, and we'll come up and we'll make a decision. He'll get my input. Josh went out there and was practicing, and we pulled him aside. Kevin remembers the day well. I pulled him aside in the room, and he and I came to an agreement. I looked him in the eye, say, "You're ready to go." And I can tell you what, Josh was lights out on that day. And he played really well. And in fact, those things helped his stock. I mean, I don't know how many NFL scouts were there, Kevin, but I know Elway was there. There was a whole host of guys down on the sideline. And it meant something to them that here's a guy who loves to compete and loves to support his team. And so when you look at a guy like Chad Muma, Chad's going to play in this game. And that's kind of our mantra here. And so it was an exciting game against Central Michigan. We were really disruptive up front. We had a ton of takeaways. And I just remember seeing Josh Allen throwing a double post. He was throwing that baby on a rope. So love Josh. And Kevin's probably followed Josh a little bit too. But it was great to have him out there. So it was a great game. I remember it being a little bit chilly though, and getting dumped on Gatorade. And then we were throwing those potatoes off the trophy. Josh kept on throwing those potatoes around. I said, the bowl people won't probably appreciate that, Josh. We got to get those potatoes back.
It was that made the post game more fun. Josh was having a ball.
Yeah.
It was good. But when you talked about the scouts that were there, I don't remember how many scouts were there either. I do remember John Elway being there and everybody was following him. But it was a big boost for us when Josh announced, and he only did it the day before the game.
Right.
It was 1 or 2 days before. I don't remember exactly, but Coach, all I know is when I watched you guys practice in the indoor practice facility, I can't remember the time ever hearing a quarterback throw the ball through the air and it whistled.
Yep.
And he had 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. He was phenomenal.
Yep. Well, he's still doing that. And he had a great experience there in your bowl game. And those things just kind of spread throughout our whole football team. Andrew Wingert was another guy on our team that just kept on going over and over again how much he enjoyed playing there. And Andrew, of course, is starting for the Jaguars right now. Our guys, there's a couple of common themes, as you know. I mean, we go and we play Boise State every year. I think I had some really honest discussions with Kevin about the condition of the turf at that time. And, it was interesting. We went into Boise and played Boise State maybe a couple of years later, and their athletic director came up and said, "I hope you're happy. That cost me $3.5 million to get some new turf out there."
Cody?
Greg, Rivals announced yesterday that Keon Blankenbaker was in the transfer portal. I'm wondering, is this a Tyler Vanderwall type situation where he's still on the team, or is he already gone?
He actually, Keon and I had some great conversations. He had graduated last year. And so anytime we look at a guy, Cody, that graduates, I think he's saying, okay, I played X number of games for the Cowboys. I'm going to place my name in the portal. I really have no idea where I'm going to go, but I think he's just looking at the next chapter of his life. He was gracious in my office. You know, we really appreciate him being here. We're also excited. Keontae is a good player, that the guy that's behind him. So I think we're in good shape there, but want to wish Keon the very best.
David?
This one's for Kevin. You mentioned a few times the brand of Wyoming football. What does that brand mean to you and to this bowl game?
Well, you know, when you make your announcements for your games, it's nice to have, you know, a brand that people can attach. So it means something to us locally. You know, Wyoming football is, you know, blue collar football. You guys play great defense. I know your secondaries had really a great year this year, and that's important to us locally. So one, it's a national brand that people recognize when they see the matchup of our game, and two, to our fans, hopefully what happens is, you know, our fans will always support the Mountain West team. And so, you know, we'll have fans who buy tickets, and it's good to have a name like Wyoming when you're selling locally.
Tracy? Tracy, I think you're muted. Oh, okay. Any other questions for anybody?
I can just comment that Tracy is technically challenged. Tracy, I appreciate you being on. You're old soul, but you know, you're going to need to learn sign language, Tracy, because I don't know if you know where the mute button is, but damn it, you can never put it on. Kevin, this is what I deal with. Okay. It's a hard ass job, and guys like that make it tough.
Any other questions for anybody?
Guys,
Well,
great
Kevin, we
seeing
sure-
you. It's Kevin, great seeing you. Look forward to arriving in Boise. Thanks for the invitation, having faith in us. I think you've got a great matchup. Media guys, it's great that we're playing football. I know that there was some speculation. I always felt deep in my heart this is going to happen, and it's happening. And so we're still playing football, and you're still talking about Cowboy football. So that's a good thing. So peace. I'm out. I got to get recruiting. See y'all later.
Good luck,
Thanks,
Coach.
Coach.
Yep.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, Craig. Thanks,
Thank
Kevin.
you all.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Tim.
We'll get back to you about players tomorrow. Still trying to figure out a time for them.